find the scene that I described. And everybody make a quick insight check, please.
Oh, nice. Jesus Christ. Oh, Nikki. Nikki, it's not your day.
No.
Oh no.
It's not.
Got that natural 20 and now the dice are like, no.
No, the dice are
Nikki,
like, fuck you, Nikki.
No, it's the effect of you get stupid good luck, now you don't.
I think I'm getting most of the good luck here at the minute.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well. Ira, you don't really pick up anything. You're kind of like slightly weirded out by the amount of fish. Alec, as you're kind of weaving sort of between people's legs and freaking out a couple of the Nausians who weren't really instructed that you were going to be there, they are now just confronted by a ghost. You do get the sense from like the room that Eldred and the Plains person look like they are wanting to back out from this. But there's a reason that they're not. You could guess for the Plains person it's his child, and Eldred seems under some obligation to be here. You also catch that Morpheus, she's usually kind of angry in some vague form of the term, but she's double unhappy today. Flame, you catch that most of Morphea's annoyance isn't really directed at most of the table except for the blonde mountains person. The mountain person has absolutely not clocked this and is just very happily like munching down on some bread, seeming kind of spacey, but well-meaning. As things wrap up, Morphea tells you all you've kind of got half an hour, and then the band of people will be sort of going out. She's planning for everyone to go out as a group, and is very quickly made very annoyed as she's describing the preparations of we're going to be going at this time, we're aiming on this road, we're going to be walking for this long. The scientist pops up and says that he, of course, has some very immediate business happening at the lab. I'm going to need to... And he just sprints out the door as he's like halfway through his sentence, hoping that Morphea is just going to ignore him and let him go. She's not hiding it. You can tell that Morphea is pretty angry at this and would normally lash out at him. It's only by the fact that Eldred is like vaguely telling her no, don't, and knowing that she'd probably unfortunately break some of the orbs with fish in them that she's deciding not to do anything. She turns and says, look, ignoring him, we'll leave in 29 minutes now. If you've got any last minute things you want to do, if you want to run after him and beat him to a pulp, I don't know, I want to do that. Or if there's anywhere you really want to check out before we leave, do it now, because in 28 minutes we will be leaving.
Leave.
He sort of takes in people wanted to leave and not going anywhere and goes, right, just wait for him then. She starts to wait, and then he takes longer than 30 minutes, and she just starts picking up stuff and marching, which Eldred informs you she does this. That means we leave now. Starts following on after her. Could everyone make me a survival check as we're going out into the plains, please?
Yeah, final.
Alec is very good at surviving. As you
Yeah.
can tell by him being a ghost.
Oh boy. Alec, as you're kind of following the party, you're kind of getting distracted by like not only like you're in the plains as a cat, there's like a lot of cool stuff to sniff and go around and see. And you do sort of drag behind the group a little bit. Lyra, you're not really used to being on land right now. The physics are different. You're used to the sea where you can pretty quickly swim through everything. Here it's very heavy. That it's almost like gravity's worse for you. Flame, you're keeping up with the pack very well. In fact, you're keeping up closer with Eldred, who, as he mentioned, he's been in the war. He's used to taking orders and continuing. Morphia, of course, is leagues ahead of everyone, but everyone's pretty used to her doing that, it seems. You eventually hear the scientist kind of running up behind the group, huffing and puffing. This is not a man who is used to having to run for anything, let alone to chase after a group of people going to somewhere. Eventually the plains goes from like just grass to you see sort of you are starting to approach one of the homesteads, and you found like the areas where they're growing various plants. Anyone who's kind of interested can make a nature check here.
Does Balak care enough? No, he
There's the
does not.
question. Okay.
No, he does not.
Okay, Lyra, as you're kind of going through, having a look at what they're doing, you think you know logically that these are edible plants. These are the people of the plains. They grow most of the food and that sort of thing. It's just kind of escaping you what edible plant it would be, but you're certain it's not poisonous. As you continue onwards and you get towards kind of, it's taken a while, and it's going. You reckon it? You reckon it will take a little while to get to anywhere. Those of you who've come from Nausea know, come from Feldner even, but it takes a while to get to the fens, because not only do you have to get through the plains to get to Feldner to get to the fens, you also seem to be taking a slightly different route, and you don't know if that's just Morphe is used to this route or what. As you are traveling, though, she comes to a little campsite that someone seems to have ready for you all. She says, "Right, being here for the night. I know I've been walking ahead of everyone, and I seem to have taken on a leadership role as Prince Tepid has decided to not come with us." She's smiling but angry. She says, "We have a choice now. We can either go to the fens, about a day and a half out from here, or we can go ahead and go through the mountains to the outer lands. Does anyone have a preference?"
Forward.
I mean, I intend to keep going forwards, just forwards in which direction?
How about the fair?
We can't go backwards.
I see the fence.
He points at back and points at the scientist. Which way? Which way shall we go? Just right at the ground, just like.
As you say which way to go, the scientist kind of like almost full body panics, like somehow set him into like fight or flight, and he goes, "But the fens, we can go to the fens, I guess."
Alright, We got offends, and if we die, we blame him.
Sophia laughs along at that. She seems to find that sort of a comment funny. As you start to march away towards Feldnor, people do make it there in time. No one rolled in that one on their survival, so everyone does make it there without taking any exhaustion or anything like that. I mean, even so, Balak would, even if Balak rolled in that one, he'd probably struggle to take on exhaustion as a ghost. Anyway, you reach the edge of Feldnor. Flame, you are very familiar. These are your trees. These are your homes. And the Feldnotians, they ignore the strange band of people kind of coming through. They are very used to it. And Morphea takes you to a area that's kind of very out of place for Feldnor. It's a big kind of structured stone castle. Everyone make a history check. Flame, because you live here, you get advantage on this history check.
Not again.
All the rolls have been +0 for me. I've just been getting good rolls.
Ira!
No,
Third
no,
or fourth
please.
That one.
History check. Oh god.
Yeah. Flame gets advantage on it.
Can I just go back to the ocean?
Oh dear. Ira,
This
it's
doesn't
a
make
castle.
sense.
Why does the ghost know more than you?
Well, technically you're dead, so you probably died ages ago.
I haven't, trust me.
Yeah, but I'm a history buff. Why did I get such a bad score?
You live here.
You're that smart person. You're the kind of your character's the kind of person who's like, I know everything, but still fails the test.
Oh no. Oh,
Flame, you have to roll one more time.
Yeah, I've got the real flame staring at me.
Oh dear. Lyra, if this is a castle in the woods, I mean, this could be normal, you're not 100% sure. Flame kinda didn't care enough about with the people around you. You're focused on your goal of domination. This castle does not line up with those goals. Balak, you know from like the little bits that you've looked around, this is the castle from when Eldnor was under Nausian rule that was going to be Prince Tepid's summer home. He was going to take his summers here and have a lovely time in the fresh air. And then the war happened and the forest went to the anti-Tepid revolution rule, and they just took the castle. This is where the anti-Tepid revolution hangs out. You can all hear, like, approaching it. It is various forms of loud. So in one corner you've got some, like, you've not even entered this place, and you can tell that there's one person in one area that's shouting, someone's crying. And sort of, it sounds very chaotic as Morphea kind of bangs on the door to be let in. Can everyone make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Here's saving throw.
Oh, do you want to refresh like your D&D Beyond? I think it's like just giving you the same roll. Oh gosh.
What do you mean? Multiple nat ones in a row? Who doesn't like that?
Oh. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh, Alec, as the door opens, you see something before the rest of them do, and you kind of shimmy out the way just about. You move out of the way of this flying object purely because Lyra was stood in front of you and took the full force of this flying pan. That somebody from behind the door just threw at you. Lyra, you take... Roll for me. That would be fantastic. Thank you. 3 points of bludgeoning damage as a flying frying pan has just hit you square in the face.
Ow! Jeez.
Is that what's called fast food in this world?
Did he eat fried fish? You want some fried fish in there?
The assailant who threw the flying... I'm going to call it a flying pan now. Oh, no. Anyway, they open the door. And you will see a badger failed notion. So he's got the stripes of a badger on his face. He was looking annoyed, and then he saw Morphea, and fear just filled his face. And he ducks back inside. And you all now can kind of see inside. The badger failed notion has fully run away from Morphea for fear of consequences. There is someone in the background with rabbit ears and a squirrel tail who's just full sobbing in the middle of the floor, being comforted by what looks like a failed notion with a white and black tail, who's just kind of going there. Looks similar to Eldred. Someone else from the back who has a brown tail wanders up to the front and says, "I'm so sorry. It is slightly chaos in here. Come in." And he ushers you all in. And Morphea kind of points around the room, points to the person who's ushering you in and goes, "This is Abrian. He's the ATR scientist. The one that nearly killed you is Hono. He's dead meat later, but he's helpful around here. He does most of the cleaning, if I'm very honest with you. The one crying is our great and wonderful leader, Prince Dominator. Stop crying, man. We will find her. And the one helping him, that's Joji, Eldred's brother. Come on, we'll go through to if there is a quieter area." And sort of tries to march you all sort of through to what looks like a smaller meeting room. And as they kind of close the door behind them, the crying kind of stops. And you're in the room with what appears to be a nice felt notion lady. She's got little bangs. And everyone make me a religion or a history check, whichever is better for you.
Where's religion in this thing? Can't see religion.
Wait.
It's plus.
I rolled
either
above a
way.
1!
Yeah!
Yes! Yes!
Balak knows nothing about this.
Look, it's still very loud for you. You've seen this person around the forest. They are not needed in plans for world domination, but you know that they live here. On that 18, Lyra, you know that this is Delilah, daughter of the White Queen, who is the local deity. You know that by technicality, she is Morpheus' cousin, and she seems to have inherited all of the calm genes of this family. They all kind of sit you down. Chaos is still happening in the other room, and Delilah says, "Thank you all for coming and helping. It is really appreciated. This is the problem we've got at the moment." And she lays down a map that is fully just of Feldner and the Fens. You can see the green splodge that's normally kind of little on the map has been blown up to a good size. For the humans in real life, Feldner is now about the size of a laptop on this map, to give you a rough perspective. It's gone from a fist to a laptop. You can see The trails going through, there are lines on here for the ley lines and where the magic is, and sort of curving around the back, the little fen. Says, we've had problems with the travellers who live in the fens in the past. They are good people. They just... A lot of people don't want to think so. I've never really understood. Anyway, we are having trouble going in looking for Annie in there. We've been barred access several times. They just don't seem to want to let us in. Dommy, the one you passed who was crying, he's demanded entry several times as he is technically one of the royal families from around here. We just can't get in. If you can find a way in, I would prefer peacefully. Dommy would prefer violently. Find a way in and try and see if Annie's there. That would be a huge help to us. As she's kind of a nation, can everyone give me a nature check? Okay. Oh, you're still above a 1, Nikki. I will take it. Oh dear. Dark and Flame, you're kind of looking at this. I said the word fen a few times. It's not entirely clear to you two what that is. Ira, they've said a lot, and you know that a fen is basically a flooded marsh area. It's foggy. It's kind of difficult to get through. Usually, it's full of things like peat. There's gonna, you know, that there are gonna be some areas that would actually be deep enough for you to like stand in, but usually they're kind of alkali, flooded areas of meadow and marsh.
Lovely.
The not plains one. The mountain woman's kind of looking at this map. Everyone, give me an insight as well, quickly. Flame and Lyra, looking around the room, you can kind of tell that Morphea is angling with Dommy towards violence. And you can tell that most of the room is kind of in the state of kind of getting it over with. The fens aren't really known for being pleasant. Balak, the mountains woman, is looking at that map real intensely. She doesn't seem to... She's vaguely aware of conversation happening around her, but she's like... She's looking at it as if something's odd to her.
I'll kind of just like go next to her, just like look at her, just like tilt his head, like, what's up?
She, like, it takes a few seconds for her to kind of notice you, and she goes, "Oh, sorry, things have changed since I was last here." She kind of points to a few of the trees that are near the fens, and she says, "These used to be part of the fens. Now they seem to be on the Feldnor side of the map." Delilah nods and says, "We are kind of, by their nature, squiggly. They kind of change shape a lot just because it's a marshland. It doesn't really solid very well." Morphia kind of does that slap of the thighs. Well, what we're doing, get into the fens, any means. Now, how are people feeling? Are we wanting to be sneaky to get in? Do we want to fight our way in? And specifically seems to be looking at you three because she's somewhat clocked the rest of the room.
Whichever. Whichever. Even if you start the violence, I could probably sneak in during it.
She nods and takes that in and says, well, we're ready for anything. We might as well see how far we can get in before they bring the fight to us. As you all start to make your way towards the fens, can I have a stealth check from everyone?
Before that, can anyone do anything about this? Pointing to the black eye from the frying pan? Frying pan.
Oh.
Scratch 'em.
Balak looks and sees the bruise, and just kind of says, "Oh yeah, you got hit in the face, didn't you?" And he just straight up casts aid, which is just direct 5 healing. So
Thank you.
and you are also braver than usual. So yay!
Ooh, cool.
Well, specifically, boast your allies' toughness and resolve.
Nice. Okay, so I've got stealth from Balak.
What was my stuff? Ah,
Oh, it's not going well for the tea party.
Balak dropped his key.
Wait, shouldn't Balak have better stealth?
I know what you're talking about. I dropped my keys.
Oh dear. Let me double check that D&D Beyond's not having a moment with him, but I do believe he's got +2 to stealth.
I do have +2.
+2. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Luke's dropped his keys.
It would have been even funny if it wasn't that one.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Balak dropped the last one. I'm sorry, I'm turning my mic off.
Oh dear. Flame, as you're going through, you are reasonably stealthy as a cat, but you just managed to stand on the wrong twig. Lyra, you're managing to kind of keep out of way of things. You and Morphia seem to be the most stealthy of the group. The ATR and Eldred have stayed behind. Clearly, Dommy was in no state to do anything but cry. You've got Mountains Woman with you, the Plains Man, and the Scientist with you. I'm gonna be honest, the Scientist also dropped his keys. The Mountains Woman has been pretty stealthy, and the Plainsman's been okay. As you'll enter sort of the main marshy space, you can all see sort of where you've entered, there's a caravan space in front of you, but it's looking deserted. Until that is that someone fires an arrow and it narrowly misses Balak. Can everyone roll initiative for me?
Roll initiative. Got it. Oh, now I get the nat 20. Okay.
Oh my gosh!
Oh!
Fuck you.
That rolled off a 20.
Oh no! Oh, it's so rude when it does that.
I had a roll once where it was just like it was going to be a perfect number, then rolled onto a nat one.
Oh no.
It was so devastating.
Okay, and we're gonna leave it there for tonight, guys. Thank you for playing, and thank you everyone for watching. Next time we'll be here for the fight in the fens.
Woo!
Meow.
Yeah. Uh, okay. I will see you all next week. As I've said, my name is Lyric. On the top of the screen, Lewis, can you say goodbye?
Meow.
And Nikki and Eileen, can we have a goodbye from your characters?
Toodles.
Wow. Yes, that's what Flame sounds like, because Flame's actually my cat.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, I will see you guys next week. Thank you for playing. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Yay.
Goodbye.